Hey, fantasy sports fans, it's Nick Capozzi. Welcome to Razzball Radio. It is Wednesday, June 4th, I think. One day I'll get the dates right. And as always on Wednesday, we bring on the one, the only, Mr. Gray Albright. Gray, welcome to Razzball Radio today, my friend.
What up, playa?
Happy Wednesday to you, sir.
All right.
All right. So, Gray, we are going to go right into it today, buddy, because we have a lot to cover. So right off the bat, in the roundup today, you mentioned Brad Miller. Now, I know Brad Miller is not heading to Cooperstown anytime soon, but he's got some pop. He's got some speed. Is he turning the corner? Is it worth scooping him up right now?
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
He's had a good last week.
What?
He had a good last week.
Yeah, he did. He did have a good last week. I was just seeing it because I have. I don't actually write the roundups. I have a group of 100 monkeys that are typing on 99 typewriters, and then so the stress of trying to get every monkey at a typewriter that causes them to work harder. It's like musical chairs, but with typewriters.
Herding monkeys.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what they wrote, but what I would say, if I were one of the monkeys, is that Brad Miller's always had decent. I mean, that's why I liked him in the preseason because he's had decent talent. He's capable of power and speed. So it's the kind of guy at middle infield that you definitely want to take a flyer on. Now the average was crazy low, and it still is. I think it's in the 170s right now.
Yes.
But that had a lot to do with being unlucky, and he was, maybe he was just getting used to being a starter out of spring training, and the stress of that was messing him up. I don't know. But he was good in the minors. He should be good in the majors. There's no reason why he failed that miserably from April to June. So, yeah, I would take a flyer if you have room. There's no real harm in taking a middle infielder flyer because the worst thing that happens is you drop him for Yunel Escobar or someone else.
Yeah, good point. All right, now you were on Oswaldo Arcia before, well, not before everyone else was, but you've been preaching about Arcia for a while. He's been playing well. What do you project for him rest of the season going forward?
Willingham.
You think he's a Willingham?
Yeah, he's about that. High K rate, probably not Willingham's on base percentage, but his power and his around 250-ish average. So say Arcia for the rest of the year, I'd give him 17 homers and a 250 average. Good, decent for a fifth outfielder if you need power. I would definitely take a flyer in all leagues.
You're not talking 17 homers going forward. You're talking 17 home runs total for the year.
Yeah, 17 from here to the – yeah, I mean, he was on the DL up until about a week ago. So you're not going to – unless you have a teleporter or some sort of time machine, you're not going back to April. Nick, do you have a time machine that you're not even telling me about?
Buddy, if I did, you know what I would do? I would go. Here's what I do. I'd go back to like when you and I were in our early 20s, and I would have started hanging out with you then, because the knowledge that I get from hanging out with you is pretty incredible.
You're implying that we're hanging out now.
Well, we are virtually.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying though. I mean, if we went back to our 20s, would we have the same relationship, or would we actually hang out? Because you're in Arizona and I'm in LA.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Couple of young arms that look interesting. I mean, obviously, I've been talking about Mark.
We would hang out.
Marcus Stroman is a guy I've been talking about all year. I really liked his opportunities if he got a chance with the Jays in the rotation. Looks like Heaney might be coming up for the Marlins sometime soon, and he's arguably the best or most ready, rather, prospect arm coming up, the left-hander for the Marlins. Heaney or Stroman, which one would you take if you had to?
Will it hurt you if I don't take the Blue Jay?
No, not at all. I like the Jays, but I'm not married to them.
No?
No. They've caused me too much heartache.
That would be bigamy, I think. How many men are on the roster?
25.
Is there can you marry a man in Canada? I don't know the law.
Yes,
I'm
you
being
can.
honest. Is it legal there?
Yes, it is.
Oh, nice.
All right, so who would you marry rest of the season, Stroman or Heaney?
Arizona. Wait, is that why you moved to Arizona?
No, don't say that. Come on.
Who would I marry? Who would I what?
Just all right. I know where you're going with that. Don't. Heaney or Stroman rest of the season. Pick one.
Heaney.
Okay, good stuff. Listen, another guy I want to talk about. I didn't have him on the list for topics today, but Chris Archer has put together 3 or 4 good starts for the Rays. I know the Rays are terrible. The offense isn't there, but is he finally kind of starting to come around and giving us the fantasy value we were hoping for going into the season?
Yeah, I think so. I think the thing with Archer was going into the season, he looked like a Chris Medlin type, which was 3.5 ERA, 7.5 Ks per 9, and a 3-ish walk per 9. So that puts you in the Medlin range, and then so that's a number 3. High 3, low 2, probably a 3 in most leagues. But Archer right now has more Ks per 9, but also a little bit more on the walks. So what's happening is he's basically pushed up his upside, but he's also pushed up his downside. So you have a guy who can go, say, 5 innings and give you 4 earned runs in a start, or a guy who can go 8 or 9 innings and give you 11 Ks. So he's gotten better in a lot of ways, but he's gotten a little bit worse in some ways too. So his risk has gotten bigger, but he's also a little more attractive in mixed leagues.
Okay, so 12-team league. Should he be on your roster?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good stuff. We were chatting in the comments today at Razzball.com about some nicknames for when Colton Wong hits a home run, and I came up with a Wong Dong. Any thoughts on that?
I like that. I actually I had a Wong Dong with it came with my poo-poo platter at I forget, Lenoir, I think was the name of the restaurant. It was I was in Jersey at the time. They don't serve poo-poo platters like they used to. It's like it's gone out of style a little bit, but I say bring it back.
Okay, good
Bring
stuff.
back the poo-poo platter. You know what you get if you go to China and ask for a poo-poo platter?
Tell me.
You don't want to know.
Okay.
It's really disgusting.
All right, so the Major League Baseball draft is coming up starting tomorrow night, so it's really exciting. Actually, tomorrow on the show, we're going to have Scott, the prospect whisperer, join us. We're going to go over some of the prospects to keep an eye on in this year's draft, but also recap some of the guys that have come up in or are close to coming up from the 2013 draft. So Scott will be on with us tomorrow. But speaking of prospects, Eddie Butler got called up. Interesting prospect, good arm. What are your thoughts on Mr. Butler?
Eddie Butler, he's actually a white man. He's in the Reggie Cleveland All-Star team with Charlie Blackmon and Freddie Freeman, that are surprisingly white men. Eddie Butler. There's only there's Eddie Van Halen. Was there any other Eddies that were white guys? Eddie Munster was actually green. And then Butler. Seriously, that's bizarre to me. But Eddie Butler, I would say, is a solid, flyer in all leagues just for his changeup. He didn't have like amazing Ks in the minor leagues, so, which kind of makes me a little tepid on him. I would say
Tepid, good choice of word. I like that.
Yeah, you like that, huh?
I do.
Yeah.
This is why we would have been friends if we met 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Because words like tepid, that really gets you. you're hanging out with your family, and then you overhear someone say Pepper, and you're like, 1 second, honey, I want to go talk to this man.
Okay, Eddie Butler.
Larry. So yeah, but in the end, you have a rookie who's going to be playing his home games in Coors. So, anytime a pitcher is at the same altitude as most penthouse letters for a mile high, you don't really want to mess with them.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Speaking of Colorado Rockies, for this year in redraft leagues, is Arenado worth holding on to?
Yeah, definitely. I think he's only going to be out for June. I mean, it's a month. Unless you're, really strapped for DL space and your league is crazy shallow, I don't see why you wouldn't hold him. Yeah, I would.
Okay, what do you, Arenado, we thought last year would have been his breakout year. He was having it before he got hurt this year. What do you project for him 2015? Let's say it's March of next year. What kind of line are you projecting for Arenado?
There hasn't been one moment where he's seemed overmatched. I mean, he looks like he could be like a top 5 third baseman easily. He was headed that way this year, so I don't see any reason to be worried about him for 2015, assuming his injury is fine. It would be a shame if his finger injury holds him back going forward, but it sounds like it's going to be okay. I'd say 24 homers, 300 average, good counting stats, maybe a few steals. I mean, he's a solid hitter, like probably what you were hoping from Zimmerman.
Yeah, let's not talk about Zimmerman. But staying on the Rockies track for a second, and bringing in the nicknames as well. Cargo, of course, is hurt again. I mean, the guy, you can't draft him anymore as far as I'm concerned. But I came up with a nickname for him today. Instead of Cargo, how about Carglass?
Nice.
The windshield.
And he keeps getting hit by spark plugs.
All right, we've been talking about Cliff Lee potentially coming back anytime. He's getting on in age, obviously, but when he's on, he's one of the best fantasy pitchers in baseball. What are your thoughts on his injury right now? Because there's hope he might start throwing later this week.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned because he didn't have any pinpoint injury to begin with. It wasn't like, oh, he's got a strain this or something that. He was sore, which is, it's kind of a situation where he's sore because he was throwing. I mean, that's what you're hoping he can do. That's when a guy's sore from throwing. It'd be like me sore from typing. Like, okay, you're not in a great place, Gray. I'm sorry. I would say, I mean, you gotta just hope for the best. Expect the worst, really, with Cliff Lee. I don't know. I'm expecting a situation where he comes back and he gets something happens and he's sidelined until maybe August or something. I don't know. It doesn't sound good. I'm just speculating. I have no idea.
Okay. Looks like Cody Allen is the closer in Cleveland. Who would you take rest of the season, Cody Allen or Henry Mejia?
Allen.
Okay. Not even close for you?
Yeah, no, it's close.
Okay. Is there any reason to hold on to Jed Jerko still, or is it just finally time to cut bait? I mean, we were talking earlier about cutting middle infielders who aren't helping you out.
Yeah, no, I mean, it sucks. Do we have to talk about Jed Jerko? Yeah, I think he's still in the same place he was a month ago when we spoke with the balls bat into play. He's getting really unlucky. He's not helping himself by any stretch of the imagination. His K rate's been up, and he's not hitting for power like you want him to, at least. Like if he's gonna hit a 170 average, you want him to at least hit for power, which he's not even doing that. I mean, I think it's at the point where you have to be looking elsewhere. There's no way you can hold on to him into June and he's still hitting 170 and not even showing signs. I mean, he just, he's going 0 for 4 every day. He's been miserable. And unfortunately, you have to look elsewhere and then just hope that when he does get hot, you're able to go back to the waivers and pick him up again. But yeah, I'd look around.
All right, what's going to happen down at Chavez Ravine with the Dodgers? And I want to discuss particularly Joc Pederson because he's obviously top prospect. He's had a great year in the minors. Is there a chance they trade either Ethier or Crawford? And if so, if Pederson does get an opportunity to come up, is he kind of a George Springer light?
Pederson he's got power and speed. He could be he could be great. I mean, he could be a 25-25 guy. I believe he's got Ethier, Kemp, and Crawford really that are movable in some way. I say that the likely situation is this season Crawford or Kemp or Ethier get injured, and then or there's more than one injury, and then Pederson gets a full-time job. I don't know. A trade. I mean, maybe a trade happens to open up a spot, but I don't know if there's really. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're really on the market to get rid of one of those guys. I think the Dodgers are in a place that is like where playoff teams are, where it's like they're not trying to get younger necessarily, even though it would probably help them. They're looking to just get to the playoffs and win. So it's more of a team situation. I think they should have traded Kemp in the preseason. I mean, they should trade him back in December and gotten a third baseman or something.
Yeah.
They should have did this back, or maybe some middle relievers that could, bridge them to Jansen. This was something that they should have did back in December when Kemp had a lot of value. Right now, I mean, they're kind of screwing up his value. They're playing Ethier, which isn't. I mean, I don't know. It's a badly run organization right now from on the field. I think Mattingly's a mess. I think the decisions he's making just are puzzling. I wouldn't be surprised if D. Gordon's out of a job within a month too. He's starting to slow down and not hit, and it's a situation where they want to win now, so they're not trying to play people until they get out of slumps.
All right, fair enough. Staying in Southern California, Mike Trout re-aggravated his back injury. Missed a couple days on the weekend, got back into the lineup, and looks like he's tweaked it again. I mean, what's the problem here? Is it the weight of being the #1 pick overall in fantasy that's just weighing on him this year, or is this something to be long-term concerned with? I mean, back injuries can linger.
Yeah, definitely. I guess it's it's a matter of whether or not they think they can keep him healthy and just give him a day here or there, or if they want to DL him for 15 days and then let him recoup and then come back and be healthy the rest of the season. Honestly, I have no idea how his what's going on with his back. It's a relatively new situation. Maybe that's also why because I don't own him anywhere, so I don't know. I haven't been following necessarily. It's like it's Mike Trout. Mike Trout's Mike Trout. Just go with it. I don't. Maybe that's the reason why his back may be the reason why he's not stealing as much. I think he had 7 steals or something, which he had like as many steals as Hunter Pence, which is like you would think at this point Trout would have, at least 12 steals.
Yeah, something's not right there.
Yeah, something seems a little off. I mean, his average is down, but that is, he swings it out. He's aggressive at the plate, which you want. I mean, I don't think that's a huge issue. I'm not really that concerned about his average, but I'd be more concerned that his back's affecting his lack of steals, which lowers his fantasy value overall. If he's a 28-12 guy, it's a lot different than a 30-30 or 25-35, or.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. We're all doing the math in our head, Gray. All right, listen, we got a couple minutes left here, pal. I want to throw a couple names at you that have been really hot, especially the last couple weeks, and their ownership percentages, which, of course, we understand they're skewed a bit because, a lot of leagues have been abandoned already. But just, should this guy be picked up in a 12-team league, yes or no? Lonnie Chisenhall, 41%. That's an easy yes, right?
Yeah, he's hitting 364.
It's ridiculous. I don't know how he's owned in 41%. I mean, that's people just not paying attention. I understand he's a platoony tune, but nonetheless.
I had Matt Dominguez, Brock Holt, Yanger Vis, Solarte. Within the last week, these are guys I've had at corner. I would take Chisenhall over any of them.
All right, real quick now, just yes or no on these guys. Marcell Ozuna, 47% owned, should be on your roster, yes or no?
Definitely.
Michael Bourne, 47% owned, really hot last couple of weeks.
Nah, it depends on the need in league.
Okay, Sagnoff. And finally, Michael Saunders, who had a pretty underrated year last year. Nice power speed guy. The average isn't great, but it's been pretty good. 12% owned. He's got 13 RBIs in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I would grab Saunders.
Gray, really appreciate you joining us today on Razzball Radio, my friend. All
hey,
right.
Hey, Nick.
Yes, sir.
It
keep it tepid. All right, thanks very much, Gray. We will be back tomorrow, of course, again with Scott the Prospect Whisperer discussing the MLB draft. We'll also recap some of the prospects from the 2013 draft and what their ETA to the majors is. And we'll also probably get a little Super 2 stuff in there. Also, we might sneak in tomorrow a little segment with Smokey, our bullpen guy. Thanks for tuning in to Razzball Radio. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.